It's another Saturday morning. Welcome to the program, Politics Today, reaching you live on independent television and radio. And that's because it's a simulcast. Today on the program, we've got a lot on our plates. As usual, we encourage you to stay with us and enjoy all that we put together for the show this beautiful Saturday morning. But let's just keep a tab on some of the stories that have been at the front burner in recent times. The war of words between the national chairman of the ruling party as well as the director general of the Progressive Governors Forum is unabated, with the director general talking about Saliu saying that the national chairman of the APC, Comrade Adams Oshomole, should resign, against the background that next meeting of the party has not been called for such a long time. But the latest is that the governors themselves have dissociated themselves from the comments credited to the DG Saliu. How all of these will pan out, only time will tell. And now let's move up a little bit and look at some of the stories that have been at the front burner in recent times. On the 12th of November, the governor of Edo State clocked 3 years in the saddle. But that has been dwarfed by the crisis rocking the ruling party in the state, and when and how all of these will end in the build-up to the 2020 governorship election, only time will tell. As usual, we'll keep our fingers crossed and bring you all the events as they are happening. The Edo State governorship election is holding in 2020, but for Kogi State and Bayelsa State, they've gone to the polls today. Pictures are coming in from those two states. We're hoping to be able to contact some of our friends in the media covering those two elections to bring you live updates from those two states, from Kogi State, from Bayelsa State. We have Maria Ologi Osuma, the chairperson in Awoj. She's covering Ogbea local government in Bayelsa State. We also have Andasi Nkade, who's also covering one of the sections of the state, and Kogi State. Olatunde Odimayo is covering a section of the state. Solomon Adoga has always been a friend of ITV from Kogi State, giving us updates of events of this nature. So this is just an insight into what you should expect on Politics Today, this beautiful Saturday morning on independent television and radio. Let's meet our panelists today. The National President, Human Rights Defenders Association of Nigeria, Sir Kesley Omerabo Esquire, is with us in the studio. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
We also have with us Barrister Daniel Owigie. Barrister Daniel is a public affairs commentator. Many thanks for joining us. We have with us as well Paris Alile, founder of Paris Alile Coalition Initiative. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
We also have the Executive Director, Canvassers for Democracy and Rule of Law, Reverend Olu Martins. Many thanks for joining us on the program.
Good morning, listeners and viewers. Nice to be here again.
Okay, the fifth panelist on the program is you, watching us or listening to us at home, but your participation will be much later in the course of the program. Let's begin the show, gentlemen. 3 years in office of Governor Godwin Obaseki'a. The gains are there, the criticisms are there, but what are our thoughts, what are our perspectives? Let me begin with Reverend Olu Martins.
Well, thank you. You almost have answered the question for me by your introduction. And it is important that this kind of discussions take place constantly at media level so that we can engage government, because the primary responsibility of government is to do the greatest good for the greatest number of people within the shortest possible time. Government should try as much as possible to make people happy and not to take away their happiness. So when we engage like this, we're able to look at government, what government has done well, we give them kudos. In areas that they have not done well, we criticize them, we poo-poo them, and encourage them to do better. So for that, I must thank ITV and its crew for this constant media engagement, because Patrick Henry said the collective freedoms of a people cannot be guaranteed as long as the actions and inactions of those who govern them is shrouded in secrecy. 3 years down the line, it's been an admixture of things that have happened along the 6 critical areas that this administration has decided to embark on: education, economy, infrastructure, human capital development, essentially giving a different face to government. I've tried to situate it essentially to say, I have seen the tangibles and the intangibles. The tangibles are some of the roles that have been done. The tangibles are things that happen at the beneath technical college, now the government, science and technical college. The tangibles are the things that have happened in our in basic education, for which the governor himself was awarded by not just the state, but by the NUT as the best performing government in that. Through infrastructure, production centers, engagements across the length and breadth of the state. But the intangibles are the things that impress me more. And that's the fact that this government has refused and continue to refuse to patronize the unorthodox ways of doing government. I drove past Ring Road on my way here, and I know what Ring Road used to look like. Okay. In that regard, I know what it was if you wanted to build a house. Yeah. In Edo State, how some guys will swam on you. So in both the tangibles and the intangibles, I have scored the government fairly well. Yes, you have said that there are downsides of it. There's no government that can give you everything. John F. Kennedy said, if a government can give you everything, then it can take everything.
We'll look at the downside, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on what are the gains? What are the new perspectives, new innovations that have been brought?
Like I said, you go to, I have been to the government, now the government, is it science and technical? I've been there myself. Okay. You see optic fiber, there is, a heating system that is solar powered. I've been to the secretariat and the things that happen, in the secretariat. I've been to, there is, an industrial park going on in Yanam where the government has secured license from NEC to, establish a private, generating power, station there that has the capacity of generating 50 megawatts. And as it's at the stage now, let me able to do so. You got to
let me pause you. Yes, we'll try to exhaust everything in just one breath. Pastor, what are your thoughts on 3 years down the line?
Okay, let me respect. I want to depart a little from the position of Reverend Olu Martins. I'm going to talk about just 3 aspects because I don't want to. We cannot exhaust everything today. I'm going to look at job creation. I'm going to look at healthcare, then I'm going to look at the style of government, as well as probably education. He came to United Kingdom a few months ago, and the governor alluded and told the people that he has created 106,000 jobs. 106,000 jobs. I thought maybe because he's in a foreign land, he can say whatever he likes. And I was wondering, is it Benin City or Edo State? Or is it Kogi? That Governor Obaseki'a created 106,000 jobs. And I've been in Benin now for some weeks or for some months now. I've listened to him, and recently claimed that he has created 157,000 jobs. And I was wondering, is it in Edo State or in Plateau? And I decided to find out the areas, the sectors, and why he keep saying that. And if you go to the yesterday's paper, Vanguard, that is page 43, I got some of these answers. This is what he said. This is from Governor Obaseki'a. He said, reading out his achievement in the last 3 years, especially in grassroots, the governor said he created 150,000 jobs through job tracking for organizations, job matching, and placement, skill acquisition, entrepreneurship, and through Edo Innovate programs. He said, Governor Obaseki'a said, he created jobs through job tracking. In the United Kingdom, we have what we call job centers across various communities. What they do is job tracking. They help you to see if you can get existing job. They locate you to.
So you have a problem?
Hold on. Yeah. That is not job creation. That is the point I'm making. Okay. That is just the existing job. He's talking about job tracking is existing job. He has not created any job. He said he created one of it through job tracking for organization, job matching. These are existing jobs. They are not job creation. I don't want us these are his words. These are his words. Okay. I am saying that he has not created job. In terms of job creation, he has completely failed. That is my position. If you look at what he said, the areas he said he has created jobs, because I've been wondering in which of the sectors. Is it in health? Is it in agriculture? Is it in the social sector? Which of the sector has he actually created this job? He has come out to say these are the areas he created. He has specified them now. And what I'm saying is that this is not job creation. Are you following me?
What are your perspectives on the other sectors that you mentioned?
Now, that is just one of them. I just wanted to clear the area of job creation. Healthcare, Governor Obaseki'a promised that across the 100, when he was campaigning, across the 192 wards of Edo State, he is going to ensure that one community health center is constructed in one of these wards. Every ward will have one community health center. That was his promise. I want to tell you very clearly, without any fear of contradiction, that Governor Obaseki'a has not, in any of these wards, around 92 wards, I've not seen any health center that have been initiated by the state government or completed or commissioned by the state government. I am talking about healthcare. The central hospital, we still don't know the status of that central hospital today. Who is running it? How is it run? We still don't know. When it comes to healthcare, I have not seen any tangible, comprehensive, any area, anything that he has done in that sector. Apart from framework, apart from analysis, apart from grammar. That is what. That is healthcare. I'm taking it one by one. On healthcare, yes. I'm going by his promises. He said he will build 3 specialist hospitals in the 3 senatorial districts of Edo State: Edo South, Edo Central, and Edo North. You come and tell me, Mr. Okosun, which of these places has he started? I'm not saying completed now, 3 years, okay. Which has he laid foundations? Okay. No, absolutely not.
But the 10 years has not ended.
No, we have 1 year. That is fine. I will be here again next year. I'm not going to die. Okay. Are you following me? We will be here. We are talking about his promises, his campaign specifically. Okay. We match it with what he's doing. This is what he's.
So anchor the point.
No, my point is that in healthcare, he has not done anything.
Okay.
That's the point. Then let's move to education. Oh, he has spent. I am aware that he has spent 1.5 million training one each teacher in schools where there are no facilities. Have you been to public schools? Nothing. You're saying that overcrowded classrooms, no teachers. For the past 3 years, we've not employed 1 teacher. Teachers have been retired. Some have died. Most of these schools that you are seeing, shortages of teachers, no learning facilities. I don't know why you are training teachers when there are no facilities to aid learning. Okay. Now, let's talk about style of governance. You see, the government has not demonstrated enough emotional intelligence from the inception of this government. When you look, you see, I am wondering why. That is why he has not performed. A situation where you stir up crisis, where you promote thuggery, where you allow violence to reign in the state. It's unacceptable. Okay. You cannot say.
So you're not satisfied with the style of government?
No.
That's the point you've raised.
That is why
I need to pursue.
That is why I am specifically.
Yes, I need to pursue that personally. So that I can give the opportunity.
Yes, I am specifically look at his promises. I specifically analyze it.
It's understood. I'll come back to you. Ambassador Obaseki'a, 3 years down the line, what are your thoughts?
Well, we have to understand that we are stakeholders in the project. We are interested in the future of this state and in, how to secure our future is very essential. Whatever we say, we are not personal because whatever happens here affects us. For instance, I spent all my life in this state, apart from the time I went to Sokoto to serve and the few months I worked in Lagos. I spent all my life in this state. So for me, I'm very Edo-centric. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you come from. All Edos, we are one and we are the same.
Let's see your Edo-centricity, if I may put it that way.
That's the point. Yes. Now, I cannot say that Governor Obaseki'a has not done anything, as some people will say. I cannot say that. Of course, I've seen some things he has done. I've seen his attempts at governance. But my only problem is, you know, it would appear to me that he doesn't understand certain basic elements of government. And of course, it can be helped in this regard. You know, government focus on the overall interest of the people. Government exists for the benefit of the people. So we must analyze what we affect or what will benefit our people. If I do this and that, what will happen? It shouldn't be about politics all the time. If we spend most of the time playing politics, then what time are we going to spend to focus on governance? Of course, when the man was coming, they said he was a technocrat. He was not a natural politician. But we've seen that that is not exactly the case, because he's been focused so much on politics in the last 1 year, or slightly more, that I feel that government suffers. And certain policies and programs are geared towards political calculations, you know, and results. So for me, I have a problem with that. Of course, I have seen some things he has done. You know, he's completing certain projects that they abandoned for so many years, and I'm happy with that. And if you go around the secretariat, you see you know, some buildings, some ongoing projects there. And of course, once you have a strong civil service, you also have a strong government that will be able to help the people more. Okay. Yeah, so I'm impressed with that. But there are also certain promises he made, as my friend here, you know, alluded to, that he has not even scratched the surface at all. We were talking about the Gelegele seaport that he was very passionate about when he came in. There's nothing going on there at all. Even the road that leads to the place, he said he's going to, you know, dualize it. There is absolutely nothing going on there. The business park also, business park or something like that, that Olumatins mentioned just now. When he came, that was when he made that promise, and it's 3 years. There's absolutely nothing going on there. You know, we must point government to certain things that can help it do better for the people, because it is not about political party. No, we're beyond that. Absolutely. It is about proper governance. Okay. The man has to understand what governance is. Comrade Olumatins define what government means just now.
It's about the people.
It's about the people.
Okay, let me pause you there. Let me pause you there. Let me pause you there. Mr. Kesley Omarabo, I'd like to get your thoughts. 3 years down the road, that's quite a reasonable time for a tenured governance, as it were. What are your thoughts?
You see, I have been deliberately out of the press for over a year now, because I'm really, really depressed. I'm touched. I'm not just an APC man. I'm an Edo State man. And first of all, I'm an indigene for becoming a citizen of Nigeria. And this is the only stake I have. And I watch people destroy my patrimony. What future does my children have? And nobody will talk. Few of us are privileged to come here. We come to do play platitudes that we patronize. No! No matter what's my personal ambition, this is secondary to my patriotism. When I see people talk, people who rely on that to speak the truth.
But they are entitled to that. No. But let's try to stay on course.
Okay.
What are your thoughts? 3 years down the line.
My time is over.
3 years down the line. What are your thoughts?
Let me tell you something. I hardly criticize in public somebody I have access to privately. It is a betrayal of trust. Yes. I see Obaseki'a every day. He's my personal friend. We were co-contestants in the primaries. He relies on me on certain things. He calls me, I go to him. I say 1 or 2 things. I also know his difficulties. He's a man who hardly talked during the election. He's a man who hardly talked during campaign. He has suddenly become a talker now. Because everybody says, you are Egwa. Everybody so much pressure on him that he has almost lost his thing. Obaseki'a is intelligent, he's focused, and he's passionate. He's a nice person. But in governance, a complete failure. I must tell you that. Yes, that is the truth. So I have tried to see how we can help him. He tells you something they want to do, and other people have come and said, hey, don't try it. He has forgotten you. It's not a matter of patronage. We were talking of how we can carry the state forward. Obaseki'a, before he came to government, everybody knows what a disciplined gentleman. He has no time for frivolities. He has a focus. But right now, all that has been derailed because we have left governance for politics. It is politics. This one said that beating me. Also, I know after today they will say I'm suspended from APC. I'm not sure. Because I am still coming forward for the governorship. Because we cannot fold our hands. What I'm even saying is that have we all forgotten that the purpose of governance is to make the people happy? Yeah. Now, let me ask my friends, which new primary school have been built since the inception of even this administration, or of even civilian administration? Which new secondary school? Which new industry? Who has been employed? Who has been given a new job? Let us be frank, our state. Let us not be sentimental. I'm not aware of any new industry now, even Benin, that people are employing. I'm not aware of any new primary school. So if a governor paints a building in the church in the court premises, it's innovating secretariat. Are you mad? Is it his personal salary? You find these people in government and call them to complain. Let's
not get too emotional. No. If you use the word, are you mad? I think that's what I heard.
Yes.
You need to withdraw. Yes, please. Yes.
But what I'm saying is that we, the followers, are the problem of the people in government.
Oh, yes.
We clap hand for nothing. Hey, this is from Eritrea. Is there something wrong with that sack? That's what I say when I'm a woman. You see the situation where a man is elected to be a councillor. If he has not brought a new car, built a new house in his village, they say he's a fellow. But if he is really focused, he's really doing something, he doesn't need to buy his personal car.
Okay, all right.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me pause you there. If you just join us, it's Politics Today on independent television and radio, like we always say on the program. Views expressed here are entirely the views of those persons expressing it. They're not the views of this station. Let's just move on. Olu Martins. In all of these, we have seen the state in a very tumultuous situation, particularly in the build-up to 2020 governorship election. What's your take on this? I mean, just when you think that the matter has abated, it escalates again. In recent times, we've seen a gale of suspension and counter-suspension that has been going on within the ruling party in the state. I don't know what your thoughts are on this.
Thank you very much. It was Margaret Thatcher that said, I want change to become popular. I have my opinions as a woman. And even if you put a gun to my head, they are my opinions till tomorrow.
That's true.
It doesn't matter the aggression. They are my opinion, and I'm entitled to
I just said that. I just said that a while ago. Yes, I just said that a while ago.
Yeah, because I needed to say that when you say, for instance, like Pius was saying, that they patronize thugs, I'm wondering, he's talking about this administration, he's talking about the last administration, because he lives in London. And then so I can understand that, because 2 weeks is not for you to assess the length and breadth of Edo State.
I contested the election.
No, it doesn't matter. There are people.
Don't take it personal.
No, I'm not. There are contenders. There are contenders and pretenders.
Leave me alone.
Anybody can contest. I'm drawing allusion to the things that I said. We were in this state where the governor himself said that he needed the then governor said he needed
that.
All right, to take tax, from mad people.
No.
So when you say the style of governance, I differ in that regard.
Okay,
all right, in the sense that we have a government or a governor that is, when he goes out, he doesn't even blow siren. I have driven several times behind the governor where he obeys traffic. So this governor is decent to the best of my knowledge. All right, because you see, we're in political times and people are aligning and realigning. So it's understandable if you have different, opinion. It is my own conclusion that the government is decent. This governor is decent. He doesn't indulge. He's intelligent. He has an idea of what he wants to do. Implementing it may be a challenge, but he's clear on what he wants to do.
Why are we having the crisis in the state?
Now, we will talk about why we're having the crisis in the state. Yes. Somebody taught us years ago that there was no longer godfatherism in the state. What it simply meant was that you were supposed to be your own man. And we agreed to it. The length and breadth of the streets of this state were done by large billboards, say no to godfatherism, let the people lead. And I was at the stadium where Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida was invited, where we celebrated the one-man, one-vote thing. 4 years or so down the line, a man wants to evolve himself as the godfather of the state. And some persons are saying, Kabudo rejectimentat. We are the one who led us to the street to say no to godfatherism. And that has led to several breakages and breakering within the political party. And I'm not a member of that political party, all right? You're asking me a general question. And I have often been worried the way the All Progressive Congress runs its own issues. I have said it before, that when you have strange bedfellows as to how the APC was formed, eventually you're going to have cracks, along the road. Okay. So what is happening now is the fact that some persons have decided that, this state belongs to us. And some other persons have said that instead of giving the money of a few to a few people, we use that money for the development of Edo State.
Okay, let me pause.
That was where the argument initially started from. Okay. And we must not lose sight of it.
Okay, let me pause.
It is from there that we have several branches of the things that are transpiring.
Let me pause it there. Pius, yes. What are your thoughts? Because we're talking about the crisis.
Yes,
I really want you to focus on the crisis.
Yes, that's what I'm focusing on.
Rocking the party.
This government, he was saying that, maybe it's a figment of my imagination that the government is not violent. The government are inaugurated. No,
that is
inaugurated. Let me give you specific example of Togri. It's not a personal matter. A government that inaugurated House of Assembly, few House of Assembly members at midnight. Nocturnal inauguration. You think that is proper? You think that you are a man of God? You think that is right?
Does that amount of God?
I don't want to get personal. Hold on. See, let's avoid personalizing.
I'm just stating facts.
Stay on course.
It's not a fact that the government inaugurated few members of Edo State House of Assembly inaugurated them at midnight. Is it a fact or that is an imagination? Of course, you are a journalist. Am I saying a fact? Up to today, the government is still running the state with the minority. As a sole administrator, it doesn't get even simple majority for anything. You understand? As a sole administrator, perpetuating illegality and unconstitutionality. And you are telling me it is normal. You are a man of God. You're telling me it is normal. It is not normal.
I don't want to use that. You're telling me you are a man of God. That's personalization.
Excuse me. He told me I live in London. I don't live in London. I live here. This is where I was born. I was at the University of Benin. I graduated from this country. I was born and brought up in this country. I was a councillor in this Benin. What are you talking about? I am telling you that this government is indulging in illegality and unconstitutionality. Are you following me? There's a government that recruited thugs to attack House of Assembly members elect. These are facts. These are not facts in Benin. So I am not making up anything. So I am saying, now let's come to the
crisis within the party. The crisis. I need you to answer that point now.
My brother, let me tell you the truth.
Yeah.
As a party member, if you elect people and you are alienated completely, what are you going to do? You can't fight government. You can't do anything. The only thing you can do is to wait for this same government to say, I am coming back. And that is legitimate. It's legitimate. And then you can begin to rally around to see how you can stop the government from coming back. That is the only weapons that you have as a party man. And that, as far as I'm concerned, is legitimate. The crisis in APC was started by Governor Obaseki'a. When he came in, he branded, he castigated his party members and the leadership of the party. And then when they now started
to... in prison.
I will put some in prison. And when they started to rally around against him, what did you expect them to do?
Okay, so
there is a parable in Benin that says that when no one here, you cannot beat a child and expect that child not to cry later. The child will cry. Okay, so that is where he started this crisis at the inception, and he must begin to bear the brunt and take responsibility.
Let me proceed. Thank you. Barrister Daniel Obaseki'a.
Yes.
So some would easily say, well, I've heard some analysts say, well, perhaps this is also the handiwork of the oppositional party in the state, that's your party, the PDP, having a hand in this crisis just to ensure that it festers in order to take advantage of it in the 2020?
No, the PDP is not even interested in the crisis in the APC. If you recall, a few days ago, the chairman of the PDP, called the new chairman or the new acting chairman of the APC to come for tutorials on how he could settle the feuding parties. So the PDP wants a united APC because they're in government right now, and they're the ones that the destiny of Edo people are in their hands at the moment. So we don't want their crisis to continue. We want it to be settled. But having said that, you must look at the you must look at the remote causes of certain things before you are able to take. To allow you to take full appraisal of the situation and also prefer solution. Now, you inaugurated a House of Assembly 10:30 at night. I saw it. I was here on ITV studio and I relayed what happened because my office is just around Ring Road. And I closed late that day, as I was going, I saw them entering the place and there were policemen around Ring Road, soldiers blocking everywhere. I don't go to 10:30. You cannot do that. That is against the law. That is against morality. That is against everything that is right. Until now, they've not been able to find ways to solve that situation. Some members elect, let me call them that, are far away in Abuja. Others who are here in Benin cannot even sit.
They've been sitting, passing bills and doing all.
What bills? They just came back.
All of these have been going on in the house.
This November.
Yes.
They are joined for a long time. So I believe that those people deserve better. They deserve better representation.
Goodness.
I believe that.
Okay.
Of course, as I said in my opening statement, I said that I cannot say Governor Obaseki'a has not done anything.
Yeah.
There are some things he has done.
Yeah.
My fundamental problem with him is that he is inexperienced in government, and it is showing.
Politics.
Now, if people who are members of your party worked to make you governor, you cannot now become governor and tell them to go to hell. In every clime, in every part of the world, politicians or members of the political party are engaged in the process of governance. There are ways you engage them, you make them feel as part of the government. You are just number one in the party. You are superintending over the government. Other party members are part and parcel of government at different levels. So I think what has caused this is because the governor alienated many members of his political party in trying to form a structure for himself. And that has now backfired, and it has caused huge division in that political party. So if we can resolve that, if the party is cohesive, then there will be cohesive in government.
Okay.
You cannot say that the government is doing well when his party is deeply fragmented and they are fighting.
Okay, let me get Barrister Kisley Omorambo in here. At the national level, the Director General of the Progressive Governors Forum has been at loggerheads with the national chairman of the party. In fact, calling the national chairman or asking the national chairman to resign over what he described as the inability of the national chairman to call for a NEC meeting. As a matter of fact, he said that the National Working Committee, led by the national chairman, is running the party like a sole administrator. And then recently, we heard of the suspension of the state ESCO. We heard of the suspension of even the national chairman himself. All of these are happening at the same time where people expected that the party will galvanize to forge a common front for the 2020 governorship election. How do you view all of these, and when will this whole crisis come to an end?
Thank you. I will say one thing first. About the inauguration, the members of the House of Assembly in Edo State. As a lawyer, as a constitutional lawyer over 2 decades now, I cannot stand here not to be able to tell the people that the constitutionality of our Houses of Assembly not less than 24. Anything less than 24, that of Assembly is illegal. is in the Constitution. It's not argued. It's not subject to settlement. So whatever they are doing there is illegality. They should know.
Okay.
Okay. Then after that, whatever bill, whatever thing, the schooling commissioner, they are their own. No one void. If much number of us go to the court, they should know that they have been doing nothing. Then, secondly, about what you just said about one director general or something where 911, it's not a very constitutional post. Who is a medicine and looper? Who is he? I don't know. Let me say one thing now, Edo Light. I'll be the last person to speak in favor of Oshimole. Apart from personal grudges against how he removed my governorship and gave it to Obaseki'a, which I don't understand. So, and again, he has a particular interest for my person.
No, you're getting personal now.
I will not go there.
This is what I
will go there. I will go there.
Yes.
But I want to speak now as a patriot. Oshimole as a national chairman. Aren't we Edo people happy that our son is representing the whole world, the whole country, and we are not pulling him down? Aren't we ashamed? Is that what we should be doing? And we were happy we had Antonio Neni, who could at least we call him Mr. Fix-It. Now we have Oshimole, we know all his garrulous nature, all his problems. Can't we punish him and manage him? Should it be we who will expose him?
Or pull him down?
I don't get it at all. And look at the people who are saying we have suspended. These are his friends of yesterday. And they still go in the night and say, okay, I beg you, people talk about. Look at them. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't want to be a coward. So, yes, when you talk about one DG, who is he? Even the governors came out to say he's on his own. And remember at the initial stage of this thing, I set up a committee, or we set up a committee. Myself, Emwa, Osumbo, all of us.
Okay, just a moment. Good morning. We have our first caller from Edo State. Maria Logi Osuma is the chairperson award by Edo State. Maria, many thanks for joining us on Politics Today with Sonny Duke Okosun. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, so tell us. Good morning. What's the situation like in Edo State right now for the governorship election?
Actually, right now, I am in a community called Okosun, community in Ogbia local government area of Edo State.
Okay.
And voting has commenced. Accreditation and voting was done simultaneously, and people are voting peacefully so far.
Okay. We heard of late arrival of materials to former President Goodluck Jonathan's ward in Okosun. How is that?
I cannot verify that right now because I'm like 15 minutes away from Otuoke. I'm heading to Otuoke right now.
Okay.
When I get there, I'm going to confirm. But as I said earlier, right now I'm in Okosun, and you can, from the background, you can hear what is going on. Everybody is on the queue waiting to cast their ballots.
Fantastic. Give us an insight into the general atmosphere, particularly for security, because you know, Edo State has always been a hotbed for politics in Nigeria, with all the history, you know, behind that state. What are your thoughts?
All right, security agencies are also present here, and they are all ensuring that the queue goes accordingly and everybody votes without issues in Okosun. There are sections where they have cordoned off to enable orderliness. As soon as you are accredited, they lift the bar for you to come in and cast your vote. And it's been that way in all the polling units I have visited in Okosun community.
All right, thank you very much, Maria. We truly appreciate this. I hope to keep tabs on you to get more later today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Maria Osuma is chairperson award by Edo State, covering the governorship election in that state, just giving us an insight into the happenings there. The places that she monitored has been peaceful, voting and accreditation going on simultaneously. Security agents are on the ground to ensure that everything is peaceful. So we hope to get more in the course of the program. Now let's come back home. Yes, Olu Martins. Let me come to the point. Yes, you were on. Okay.
I'll give you more.
Okay, now let's anchor the point, please. Yes, anchor the point that you were making. Pastor Kesley. Yes.
As I was saying,
yes,
when this initial crisis started in my party, Myself and few individuals formed a committee to see if we can quickly resolve it. We said the governor gave us audience. He expressed his fears and his worries. We sympathized with his line of thinking. I headed for Abuja. I can tell you I spent 8 days in Transcorp. I could not see my national chairman. He knows I was around. He didn't want to see me. So I left him. When we went to the former governor's house, Osumbo, and he told us, okay, he will get the appointment and see him. Till today, I can tell you nothing came out from that. Then we headed to the national deputy chairman's place. Why are you telling our man to resign? Will you be chairman and deputy chairman at the same time? After he has spoken to us, we all agreed that he should withdraw that one, which he did. Because we are those. We have one of us there. And we must not destroy our very one. No matter how good or bad it is, this country is a conglomerate. It's in fact a conglomerate of nations. So when your own is there, you can avoid flogging him inside as you chase the hawk away for blaming the end. So that is what we did that, and we thought all was well. At the meeting at the Yamo with Dangote himself and the governor, we thought all had been cemented. But I can tell you, those who are benefiting from the crisis won't be happy that it's settled. Yes. They stoke the fire every day. When I read social media, I see comments. You know why I don't reply? I don't know whether I'm talking to a cripple. I don't know what I'm talking to one center distributor who just go inside the small room and give some more money from somewhere and is buying that and talking rubbish. It is that people that are constantly crying. Obaseki'a is a complete gentleman, as prepared to really settle. Like I say now, this second tenor that's heating up now. I initially wanted to support Buhari at the tribunal because I knew if Atiku had won, the Fulani will have 12 years. So also, if Obaseki'a is not allowed to have the next 4 years now, he shall wait for another 12 years. Because if it's Araro or Israel Yamuna that will take the APC ticket, it's going for 8 years. Then we are clapping hands here, no sentiment. Let him have the second tenure.
Okay. Okay. All right. So are you satisfied now, Obaseki'a?
But you said just now that the government was a complete failure. So why would you want failure to continue for?
Let's stay on course. If you just join us, it's still Politics Today, reaching you live on independent television and radio, extraying the Edo political crisis, particularly the APC crisis in Edo State, how it will shape the 2020 governorship election. Now, Pastor Lou Martins, what are your thoughts? In all of these, what are the chances of the governor, according to you, based on the achievements recorded, the impacts made with the party now in crisis?
Yes, thank you very much. You know, I heard Obaseki'a say you can't say a man is doing well if his party is in crisis. And I differ a little bit on that. The reason is because when a man is elected governor, he's elected to represent the spectrum of political parties. And then the crisis that is going on is not necessarily a crisis of the government versus the people. This is a crisis of the government versus its own political people. I say so against the backdrop that in the past 2 years, we haven't seen protests on the street, existential protests of pensioners who say they have not been paid. I have joined several pensioners to protest. We have not seen the local government employees, like it happened in Ego, that they have not been paid. We have not seen teachers say that they have not been paid. We have not seen people who retire to say they have not been paid their emoluments. Before now, we used to have constant protest on the streets. So it's not a fight of the people versus the government. It's a fight of, like he said, Obaseki'a said, the people who created the environment for the governor to emerge. They are seemingly non-inclusion. Again, because I'm not a member of the APC, it's difficult for me to speak in that regard. Because I'm aware that the deputy governor is APC. I'm aware that the SSG is APC. I have seen Anselm Ojezua, who is the state party chairman. Was. No, I don't want to get
just go on.
Like I said, I'm not a member of the party. I don't want to get into inanities. I have seen several APC people, whether east or west, he's a member of the party and he supports the administration. All right? So when you say that some people were sidelined, the people who were sidelined will have the responsibility of speaking for themselves. However, is that any governor is left with several options.
Okay, let me pause there. We've got Adasi Nikade. She's talking to us now from Edo State as well. Nikade, many thanks for joining us on Politics Today on independent television and radio with Sonny Duke Okosun. How are you doing today?
Well, not bad at all, sir.
Okay, give us, what are the areas that you're covering in Edo State governorship election?
All right, just a bit of information. Here, basically, the Edo State governorship is being conducted alongside the supplementary election in 6 polling units in Brass Constituency 1 of the Edo State House of Assembly. And right now I am at Sabama local government area, which is of course the home local government area of His Excellency, the incumbent governor of Edo State, Honorable Henry Sirake Dixon. Now, about 45 political parties and governorship candidates are in the contest, and the 2 dominant parties are, of course, the PDP and the APC. Right now, we are expecting the arrival of His Excellency, who is expected to cast his ballot at his own polling units, which is polling unit 005, Tororua, here in Sabama local government area. Generally, the security situation has been calm, with very, very visible presence of foreign and domestic observers here. Security personnel are also on ground, and the voter turnout has been quite considerably okay.
That's quite cheering. We heard earlier today that voting materials got to Otoke a little bit late. That caused some panicking. How true is that?
Yeah, that's quite true. One of our other correspondents there made the information available to me just a couple of minutes ago that the materials actually, got there. There were some little skirmishes, but that has been brought under control by the INEC officials, and the ex-president Jonathan is expected to cast his ballot, any moment from now.
Generally speaking, Nikade, how would you describe the turnout of people in the areas that you've covered against the background of the usual apathy, which is induced by fear of violence by the electorate?
Well, as you're well aware, this is the first major election since the conclusion of the 2019 general election held a couple of months ago. What we're experiencing here in Bayelsa at the moment is a far departure from what used to be, the scenario. Previously, it used to be, a one-man show, but this time around, Bayelsans appear to be quite enthusiastic. Both sides have expressed confidence that their giver candidate is going to come out at the end of the day. And so, generally, there is no voter apathy. The electorates are coming out despite, the floods, despite, showers in some parts of Bayelsa State to really cast their vote for the candidates of their choice.
Thank you, Nikado. We'll keep tabs on you and get more updates much later today. We appreciate.
You're welcome. And just to add quickly, as soon as His Excellency, if it will be convenient by you, I could call in to place you as soon as I have His Excellency live, so that you could probably, hear from him directly.
All right. We hope we can get that done before 11:30. We'll call it a wrap on the show.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Nikade Adasi, Edo State, covering the 2019 governorship election in that state. Martins, anchor the point. The party is in crisis.
Yes, so I was saying that the social contract the government has with the people is not in contestation. A rally was held in Ring Road. NLC was there, TUC was there, NUT was there, PFN was there, Christian Association was there, the Muslim community was there, I was there. So it's not about somebody telling me. And in almost all of the cases, implicit direct vote of confidence was casted on the governor. In fact, the Christian community called him God's servant governor. That's the nickname with whom they call him. Okay. So the dissenting voices is within the political party, and he has the option of either going to another political party or looking for his ticket within his political party. How that pans out for him, he's the only one that can sort that out within the confines of his political party. I do not belong to a political party. I speak because I speak for the people.
You're a stakeholder.
I'm a stakeholder.
Yes.
So as far as the social contract he has, because if you hear, the people are not the ones who are complaining.
No.
The major people who are complaining are, if you like to put careerist politicians, members of political parties. They are the ones who are complaining.
All right, let me
I'm not saying there are people that are not people, but if you look at
the
plethora of protests that we had during the times of Adams Oshomole,
yes,
we have not had any serious protest in the past.
All right,
years.
so Olumati, let me pause it there. Our time is running out. Got about 5 minutes to close the show, but let's get your thoughts. Yeah.
Some of the issues I've raised here.
Yeah. I think I'll pause you. Let me try and get this call. This is coming in from Kogi State. We've got Olatunde Odimayo is covering the Kogi State governorship election. Odimayo, many thanks for joining us on Politics Today with Sonny Duke Okosun. Good morning.
Good morning to you. How is Benin this morning?
Benin is cool. You know, we're also looking forward to our own election in 2020. You'll be hearing of all the issues happening here. So tell us, what's the situation like in Kogi State? One of the candidates, the SDP candidate, made a broadcast recently where she talked about the secretariat of the party that was raised, accusing the governor of being the mastermind of it. And then, of course, there have been a whole lot of issues in Kogi State. What is the situation in the areas that you're covering?
Definitely right now, as I speak to you, Kogi State is a little bit tensed due to the ongoing voting across the 21 local governments of the state. But I must tell you, let me just start with what's actually been playing out since 8 a.m. In some polling, you need no doubt about it. We saw that there was early arrival of election materials, while in other polling units, we saw some late arrival. And to give you an example of that of local job, which I visited, the election material alongside the ad hoc staff that are to conduct the election arrived the polling unit at exactly 8:53 a.m. While some other polling units we saw them coming at exactly 8, while others are coming 9 to 10. So, but in terms of the arrival of the election materials and the ad hoc staff for the election, it has been, let's say, a mixed one. While some are arriving early, others are arriving late. But one thing I've been able to observe right now is that there is a massive turnout in some areas, while there is voters apathy in other areas. Okay. And one thing we have also observed in some polling units is what the issue of vote buying. There's massive vote buying as I speak to you right now.
Vote buying is taking place, that's what you're saying.
Yes, there's massive vote buying. In fact, the highest bidder takes the day in the vote buying business right now. There are some places that they are paying 5,000 naira, and in that polling unit, we might have like about 500 to 1,000 voters, and some parties are giving as much as 5,000 naira. Others are giving 3,000 naira, depending on the capacity of the party. But one of the most shocking and disrupting part of the whole process right now is that there are pockets of violence recorded in some areas, like the place I visited in Felele Primary School. It was just disheartening and disturbing when some group of individuals, the voting process was ongoing, and they just came and disrupted it uprightly. We're not asking, and they did all this in front of the security agencies. Nobody was saying anything. They were all watching as if it was a conspiracy theory. Okay. This really calls for concern. I must tell you the facts.
All right. Odimayo, I just want to thank you because our time is running out. I'll keep tabs just to get more from you later on. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Well, pocket of violence in Kogi State, voter apathy in some states, some areas, and massive turnout in some areas. But I hope that before the day ends, we'll get more on the Kogi State situation. Now, quickly.
Yes, I disagree with Reverend Dulu Martins that the issues that we are talking about has to do with politics. I have analyzed, I have talked about healthcare just now. I have talked about education. I have also talked about job creation. These are fundamental issues of development. And he has not been able to tell me that the governor has actually created 157,000 jobs. So these are fundamental issues. It's not in the area of politics. As for politics, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not going to hide it, I very much believe that Comrade Adams Oshomole did very well when he was the governor of this state. For 8 years, there was a massive rehabilitation and renovations of roads and schools. The roads that he did in this state, they're still there, tangible. You can still see them working. He did He constructed so many roads in Benin and environ. Education, he made his mark. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't, yes, you can have one or two issues, but for development, Oshomele delivered. Okay. That is my opinion. Okay. Then on the issue of, I am happy that we are having new people coming in now, indicating interest for governorship. Yeah. So the issue of Governor Obaseki'a's second tenure, saying that it is his right to have second tenure. It is not his right.
But it's his right. You can't
it is his right. It is his right. Let me finish. Let me finish. It is his right to contest. Hold on. It is his right to contest election.
That's the point.
But it is not his right to say I deserve second tenure. That is our own right to decide. Just allow me land. I am happy that people like Pastor Isaiah is also coming in. And we have so many people coming in. I have a supporting Pastor Isaiah, and I very much believe that
it's not time for campaign yet. Let's try.
I very much believe that he will defeat Obaseki'a anytime.
No, the election.
That is my opinion.
Yes.
Just as he said he has his opinion.
In the context of the guidelines, we need to do that.
That is for that.
Yes.
Then on the issue of the style of governance, we all know how it has all played out.
Okay. So I'll press you there. Let me get your thoughts on it.
Yeah.
The party crisis, who benefits, who loses, ultimately, with the trends on the ground.
It is the party that loses. And I want to advise the warring factions to close ranks, to settle their differences in the interest of the state.
Yeah, and the Edo people.
In the interest of Edo people.
It's too late.
No, it's not too late. It's not too late, please. It's not too late. They can settle their they can settle their differences. Okay. They were once friends. I mean, Adam Sumele is the benefactor of Governor Obaseki'a. Obaseki'a is the beneficiary. So of course they should have an understanding. And the people should come in more and say, look, because your next 1 year, we want, please, sir, please. You've had the floor. Let me do. We don't have time.
Yeah.
Now, those states should come together to say the next 1 year, we want you to focus on government. Okay. Get Osomole to be patriotic, to say, okay, of course, focus on government. Of course, you can leave politics. Governance is more important than the politics of it. The PDP, the APC, we are first of all Edo people. Yeah. Before we are in these various
political parties,
which are
platforms and vehicles and have access to power.
That is my interest.
Okay. All right.
For me, it is Edo first, it is Edo second, it is Edo last.
Is that what you think too, Pastor Kisco?
Yeah, you see, like I said, I really worry over these things. It's not a matter of just sentiment. When the governor came into office, with all due respect, he invited me. We had discussion. Then when he arrested no more less and the rest, and senators, they ran to him. Look, you can't do this type of thing. These are people that brought you to power. Not defend immediately. He said, no, if you don't show them power, I left. Then again, there was this certain things he did. I said, look, you just signed 17 persons death warrant. They were in detention for 20 years. You didn't do it, there's no didn't do it. You signed them for that. They are being hanged. In a civilized country, you still kill people. You're making a mistake. He didn't listen to me. And now, when the party leaders go to state and say, hey, let's not wait to share money. You know, you didn't have a kobo to even buy your phone. The national assembly and the local government were forced to buy phone for you. And now you begin to castigate them. Even if you will not share money, you say it to the press. Why not say within the meeting, within the circles? You start destroying your own party. And nobody's saying that. Then after that, any party man that goes there is not allowed to see the government, except those who crawl on the ground, who are in the sky. Right. I went again. You know what's called carry that on? It's not by giving contract, not by giving them food. But give somebody money, still be angry with you. Always invite them, talk with them, have face off, have interactions. He told me, no, we give these people time. Then I discovered that I was beginning to disturb them. I stayed away. Now, this crisis on ground now. What is good about him? He still listens. He still tries to see if he can get what you are saying. But the other man, Oshomole, doesn't listen at all. He believes he knows it all. He wants to pose it. In fact, he can do anything. He can kill him. That is his style. It's unfortunate. But Godwin listens. And Godwin, but when he listens, when I want to implement it, the three musketeers.
It's on Politics Today on independent television and radio. I want to say big thanks to all our panelists. Although Martin, thank you very much. It wasn't easy today, but that's Pastor, thank you for coming. It's okay. Thank you for coming. Let me say this. I was just thinking, I had so much to talk about. We wanted to also monitor Kogi election. And I was like, God, I need special wisdom to handle these guys to ensure that we have a good show and also get feedback from Kogi State ambassadors. I think we've made it. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Okay, that's our show today. Hope you enjoyed it while it lasted. For those who couldn't call because we didn't have the time, well, please pardon us. Next Saturday, we'll be together again. An opportunity for you to be part of the program through Focus. Thank you for your time. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye for now.